When I say I have a peacock-themed bedroom, people often imagine I must have designed it all at once, but the truth is quite the opposite. This room has been many years in the making. Growing little by little as I discovered things I loved. It all began with these curtains. They hung in my parents' drawing room while I was growing up, and I can hardly remember a time when I didn't know their beautiful pattern of exotic birds and peonies. When they eventually came to me, they had become rather fragile with age, so I carefully bound the edges with plain gold fabric to give them a new lease of life. Without my really intending it, they became the beginning of my peacock bedroom. I've never believed that beautiful rooms need to be expensive. In fact, I think the loveliest rooms, or certainly the most personal and homely, are often those that have been collected patiently over time. Mine certainly has. Most of what you will see has come from vintage fairs, antique shops, charity shops and car boot sales, often for surprisingly little money. As the years passed, whenever I came across something that reminded me of my much-loved curtains, I brought it home. Once the deep windowsill has been dusted and the curtains washed, I hang them back in place. They're made from fragments that might otherwise have been forgotten. Pieces of old linen, delicate lace panels with peacock motifs, and embroidered remnants, also featuring peacocks, all carefully patchworked together. I love the idea of giving these beautiful scraps a second life, allowing them to become something both useful and beautiful. As the light filters through the lace and embroidery, they provide just enough privacy while still filling the room with a soft, dappled glow. They feel perfectly at home here, adding another layer of history and reminding me that a room becomes far richer when it is filled with things made slowly, mended thoughtfully, and loved enough to be preserved. Along the deep window ledge are some of my favourite little treasures. I've always collected hat pins and hat pin holders to display them in. I limit my collection to animals and birds, but I sometimes stray for something that speaks to me, like my 1920s lady, or my little country cottage, or the Losselware china I collect, which is often decorated with exotic birds. I especially love my swan and my little Scotty dog. Most of my hat pins were inexpensive finds, but every now and then I discover a particularly special one, like the tiny miniature portrait of a lady. Just below my deep windowsill, with all my hat pins in their hat pin holders, sits a little leaf-shaped dish from the 1930s where I keep my earrings. I use the small round mirror with the pretty floral plasterwork decoration to see to put them on. These everyday rituals somehow become more enjoyable when you are surrounded by beautiful old things. One of the pleasures of collecting is that you never quite know what you might find next, and there are also things that you look out for. Whenever I visited vintage fairs or car boot fairs, I looked for embroidered peacock pictures and also interesting frames. Some things, like the little tapestry flowers in their frame, I liked just as it was. None of them cost a great deal, but together they gradually covered the walls almost from floor to ceiling. Even 1930s trays with embroidered peacocks joined the other pictures on the wall. The only wall I left untouched was behind the bed. For that I chose a wallpaper inspired by an 18th century design filled with peacocks and peonies. It felt as though it had always belonged here. The bed itself is one of the few new things in the room. I chose one I could have upholstered in a fabric called Hydrangea Bird, which is a vintage one from G.P. Baker. It has peacocks sitting among peonies and hydrangeas. I have a silk floral hydrangea wreath hanging on the wall. It goes so well with the wallpaper, it almost blends in, but adds a three-dimensional element. Recently my father gave me one little ballet pump that he'd saved from my childhood, and I decided to hang it from the wreath by a pink ribbon. Even now the room continues to evolve. I'm making a cushion from another piece of the same fabric design in a different colourway, adding my own embroidery as another layer in the story. I don't think rooms like this are ever really finished. They simply grow alongside us. One of my favourite things to do before going away is to spread this wonderful vintage embroidered peacock throw across the bed. There is something so welcoming about coming home and finding it waiting for me. Nearby is a wonderful Victorian embroidered peacock screen that I discovered in a little antique shop just a few doors away. chair with peacock shaped canework that I rescued from a car boot sale for almost nothing. It seemed impossible to leave it behind, and with an embroidered peacock cushion it fits perfectly into the room. I even found a decorative bird cage, and more recently these little clip-on peacocks. And I couldn't resist giving them a home inside. My first attempt at stained glass making was to make an abstract peacock, which I'm tying above the window so the light can shine through it. I even realised recently that the little doll's house in my bedroom has acquired its own tiny stitched peacock picture. It seems the theme has quietly found its way into every corner. When I look around this room, I don't just see decoration. I see memories and a constantly evolving creative journey. I remember the vintage fairs where I found each embroidery, the car boot sale where I spotted the chair, the little antique shop with the embroidered peacock screen, and the curtains that have been with me since childhood. None of it happened quickly. None of it was bought as a matching set. Instead, the room slowly became a reflection of the things that have always delighted me. I think that's why it feels so peaceful to me. At home doesn't have to follow fashions or look like anyone else's, and it doesn't need to cost a fortune either. Sometimes all it takes is collecting the things that make your heart sing, one small treasure at a time, until one day you realise you've quietly created a room that could only ever belong to you.